So this week we're talking about what it means to stand in the gap for somebody else, which basically is just a phrase that means to fill in, right? Or to like hold space for, or to be a placeholder, actually is a better way to put it. Like you're basically being a placeholder for somebody else. So if you think back in your life to when you were like a teenager, right? We were all teenagers, and I'd like to wager a guess, and I could be wrong here, but I don't think I am, that when we were teenagers, we probably all had pretty turbulent relationships for at least a little while with our parents. And those of you who didn't, like, good for you. I think that's great. But I think that most of us probably did, at least for like a short time. And I think that it's safe to say that during that time when we were in those turbulent teenager years, there was some other adult in our life who we could go to and that we trusted to talk to about the stuff that we couldn't talk to with our parents. And it's not that we like couldn't talk to our parents. It basically was like we didn't want to, right? Our parents were horrible and awful and all those things, and we just didn't want to talk to them. So we talked to like our best friend's parents, or maybe a trusted adult at school, or like our grandparents, or whoever the person was that we trusted and like valued. And that person essentially stood in the gap for our parents with us during that time when we just could not be bothered with our parents. And I think that during our lives, it's true to say that there are other times where people have stood in the gap for us. Maybe you went off to college, in the military, and you couldn't get home for like a weekend or holiday, and so you went to somebody else's house for that time, and their family filled in for your family, right? Or maybe you had an estranged relationship with a parent for whatever reason, like whatever, there's lots of reasons why people have estranged relationships with their parents. And so somebody else in your life has filled that role for you as a parent figure, right? Like it could be any number. I'm not even going to go through like all the possibilities because it could be anybody, like, right? So I don't have a great relationship with my dad. That's not a secret. I've talked about it and I've written about it before. There are people in my life since I was a child who have filled that father figure role for me in ways that I will never be able to thank them for. And it's not just one person. It's been multiple people over the years who have filled in for that role. And so you may be in that kind of a position. And so it's not like a new concept. It's just like a different way of thinking about it. And so when our kids come out as transgender, or before they come out, actually, sometimes it may be true for your kid or not. You know, your child may not have experienced this. I know that mine did. Somebody in their life may have stood in the gap for you in your child's life so that they could have gotten some input or shared their news or gotten encouragement and support about their being transgender, right? Because sometimes you just need to tell somebody your stuff and process all the things and have a sounding board and get some love and support before you're ready to share your news with the world. And while it's true that our kids may have like their intimate friend groups, there's a big difference between telling your friend group, hey, guess what? Here's this news about me that I'd like to tell you. And having the support of a trusted adult and somebody who can better support and give you some advice and some feedback. And so I just want to put it out there too that you might be called to stand in the gap for somebody someday. And it might be somebody close to you in your own life. And it may be somebody who is like the child of a friend, or somebody, maybe you're a teacher and it's a student, or somebody at your church. And I just want to tell you what an honor that is to be chosen by that person. And you don't have to be afraid of that responsibility, because it's a responsibility. Just know that the first and foremost things that you are being asked to do is to love and support that person, right? It's like what we do with our kids when they come out as being transgender. First, we love and support them. Then we figure out what we're going to do from there. And it's the same thing when you stand in the gap for somebody. You love and support the person, and then you figure out, what am I going to do now, right? And it's basically just listening and hearing what it is that they need and figuring out how you can best support them in the way that they need. So I just want to talk about that real quick. I've written about it in some posts on the feed, and there's, like I said, the post up on the website. If you have any more questions, feel free to drop them in the comments and we can talk more about it. And I'll see you here again next week. Okay, bye.